Ashwin Parekh joins us now. Let's take the conversation forward. Ashwin, what is next now? I mean, for the first time, it has happened where Reserve Bank of India has asked a CEO to step down, not only the CEO, but in this case, the entire top brass of IndusInd Bank right now is out. So who will run the bank? Who will be the next CEO? How will the process move? What will RBI do and what will promoters do?
Yeah, so two, three things. One, of course, is as far as the bank is concerned, I mean, it's a very stable bank. A bank with a very good balance sheet. So, I mean, we recognize, of course, that 1,960 crores or 1,970 crores, as the case may be, may have to be now provided for, and they've already, there is a mention that they'll provide it all in this quarter itself, which means the annual accounts will look very different. But I suppose as far as the bank is concerned, soon, I mean, they will really find the leadership and they'll reconstitute the leadership group as well. The bank is stable. The bank is very much stable, and therefore, I mean, that's something that's the assurance even the RBI has given. I mean, what has happened, of course, is a matter of not only a detail for the bank, but I suppose for the industry as well, because derivatives, are a little complicated instruments. And the underlying in derivatives is a very important part of risk management and accounting both. I mean, there are proper accounting standards laid down for valuation of derivatives. And if, let's say, the audit team at the bank or the statutory auditors, or, I mean, if they've not been following those very clearly, I mean, as it is apparent now, then I suppose it actually takes down to proper risk management practices. The other sort of, financial institutions will certainly pick up lessons from this. The whole idea that if there is a certain amount of blip, and then suddenly it shows up, does also suggest that, now, right from the governance point of view, right from the board downwards, to, I mean, everybody involved with risk management, operations, will have to really look at this very carefully. So I would say from the bank's point of view, sooner than later, once the leadership is constituted or reconstituted, the bank will continue to function even from today, from now itself. So, I mean, there is absolutely no question about the future of the bank. However, it's a good, important lesson for all the financial institutions. And the bank has certainly suffered. It suffered a huge market cap loss also. But then, of course, there's a big lesson for the institutions as well, sort of.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. This has been quite the learning and come in as a surprise as well. But Rahul Malani too is on the show with us, and Ashwin Parekh, we're just going to get back to you. Rahul, I mean, there are two sides of the coin. One cannot rule out exits of other senior management as well after Mr. Sumant Katpalia setting down. One could always sort of think that RBI could have let the CEO carry on a little bit, have a new CEO appointed, have that lean period or clean period rather of hand-holding and transitioning. But at the same time, maybe the appointment of the new CEO will happen quickly, more than ever before. At the same time, many are also saying that, the uncertainty is now out. The new leader, whoever it may be, will make changes quickly and try to rebuild the organization. How do you think the market will perceive this particular news?
So, firstly, good morning. So, overall, this development is in line with the market expectations, and investors had already penciling in this event rather sooner or later. So, as per our discussion with the investors community, we believe that clearly the uncertainty continues to remove with this development, and now focus would be on the reappointment, as you alluded that RBI is keen to appoint an external candidate, which has been into the news. So overall, we believe that if a private banker is appointed in the IndusInd Bank, so there will be initial cleanup, but overall, whatever the de-rating and whatever the negative news regarding bank has been penciled in the stock price. I don't see any negative reaction, a major negative reaction today. If there is this thing, then there should be a tactical idea to nimble in the stock, because till the time the new CEO is appointed, there will be various negative news flow, plus that the stock will I think the stock would not react to that. And I think so this is a very big uncertainty which has been removed, and as per our discussion with the investors community.
Ashwin, one is wondering what happens next. While the developments in the last few months have been fairly quick, but in the past, when such a situation has happened with any other bank, what one has seen is that maybe an interim CEO gets appointed to try and manage the regular operations, contrary to what the board has actually proposed at IndusInd Bank. Historically, when other executive directors have taken on temporary leadership roles, the problem here is that with IndusInd Bank, there are no senior management, team members left from the IndusInd Bank board. So do you think the possibility is higher that the regulator will perhaps now appoint either one or two RBI appointed directors to try and oversee the regular operations at the bank right now, at least in the interim period?
So let's address both these aspects. First one is, of course, whether the board will really take an interim CEO or they will take a full-fledged kind of new leader. I mean, to my mind, quite honestly, getting a full-fledged leader, that is a proper person who's going to continue with the bank for a longer period, of course, with the RBI approval, is very essential. Because interim sort of, CEO, let's say, may just come in for a shorter period just to douse the fire and just to make sure that the bank continues its operations. But I suppose what is going to be critical is looking at the long-term kind of impact, and therefore a proper leader, the board must select as fast as possible. That's one thing. More importantly, one thing is pretty certain, that the bank will now take a new shape, because the new leader and with the new leadership group coming in, the bank will certainly change its course. And I'm certain for better. So that's one observation I can make. As far as the RBI is concerned, it's up to RBI. So if whether they can really put anybody, they would like to nominate someone on the board. My first line impression on this particular one is that RBI, despite the fact that they would want to have a total control on market risk and assessment of market risk, I mean, the action of putting a nominee director is not going to particularly be of help, basically. I still believe that if the group chooses a good leader as the CEO, and I mean, that would certainly give reassurance to the RBI also to a certain extent, and to investors and to public, I mean, to deposit holders and to the borrowers. I think that could be the way out, to my mind, sort of,
Rahul, how do you address the growing investor concerns regarding near-term profitability at the bank right now?
So basically, forget about the next 2 quarters. I think so. The next quarters will be washout quarters, because if the 2,000 crore discrepancies impact has to be taken in this quarter. Apart from that, 600 crore MFI book discrepancies have to be taken. So forget about quarter 4 profitability, and even if the interim CEO is appointed, there will be some of the other legacy cleanup or other things. So I'm not currently betting on the from the earnings perspective, but from a change in guard perspective, and rather than, but because it is very difficult. It is a very challenging time, because it is very difficult to pencil in any earning estimates at this point of time. So rather than investors should think to play through this event, because till the time external CEO or private banker is appointed, the stock would have already been priced.
All right, with this, we let you go on that, Mr. Malani. Thank you so much for taking the time out, as well as Mr. Ashwin. Thanks so much for taking the time out and being a part of this discussion. So let's watch out for IndusInd Bank in today's trading session. Well, of course, that will be the big buzzer in today's trading session. All eyes on that.
If you like this video, then like, share and subscribe to ET Now.